Once, in the vast and vibrant land of Amani, a kingdom known for its beauty, wisdom, and kindness, lived King Zubeiru and Queen Kamara. They ruled over their people with warmth and fairness, respected by everyone across the land. The kingdom was eagerly awaiting the birth of their first child, who was destined to continue the family's legacy of compassion and grace. The arrival of the child was foretold decades ago by an old prophetess who had once told King Zuberi's parents that a child born into their bloodline would be different from any other, one who would bring about a great change to the kingdom. This child, she said, would carry beauty, not in the form that most people understood, but rather in her heart. Only one who could truly see her would be worthy of her. When Princess Imara was born, the royal family and the people of the kingdom celebrated her arrival with great joy. But as the midwives brought the baby to her parents, they noticed something unusual. Imara did not have the delicate features or the radiant appearance that people expected of a princess. She had a face that was, by conventional standards, considered flawed. There were murmurs among the court and the people of Hamani as they struggled to accept that their beloved royal family had an heir who did not fit their idea of beauty. But Queen Kamara held her daughter close, ignoring the whispers and judgment. Our daughter is perfect as she is, she told the king. Her beauty lies in her soul, and I will make sure she is raised with love. King Zuberi nodded, vowing to protect his daughter from the harsh words of others. The prophecy, however, was forgotten by most of the kingdom. As life went on and people continued to judge Imara by her appearance, Imara grew up as an intelligent, gentle-hearted child, but she was keenly aware of how others saw her. While other children played together and were celebrated for their charm, she often found herself alone, seeking solace in great corners of the palace. The only friend she had was Kato, the palace gardener, a wise and patient old man who tended to the palace gardens with care. Kato took Imara under his wing, showing her the beauty hidden within the plants and flowers that most people overlooked. Each plant, he taught her, had a purpose and a hidden beauty. Much like she did, Imara spent countless hours in the garden with Kato, learning to understand nature's secrets and finding comfort in the company of plants and animals that did not judge her. Years passed, and as Imara grew older, her parents became increasingly concerned about her future. They feared that Imara's unusual appearance would prevent her from finding a suitable husband, someone who could protect her and help her lead the kingdom. On her 18th birthday, King Zuberi decided it was time to search for a suitor. He sent out invitations to young men from noble families across neighboring kingdoms, inviting them to a grand festival where they could meet the princess and potentially seek her hand in marriage. The festival was a grand event. The palace was adorned with colorful fabrics and flowers. Musicians played and dancers performed. Imara dressed in her finest clothes, her heart heavy with nervousness yet filled with hope. She knew the importance of this event to her family and she wanted to bring them pride. As she walked into the hall, she noticed the stares from the guests, the whispers and the looks of disappointment in the eyes of each potential suitor. One by one, the young men found excuses to turn her down, focusing solely on her face and ignoring her kindness and wisdom. Imara overheard their hurtful words as they called her the ugly princess, and her heart broke. She quietly excused herself from the gathering, slipping away to the palace garden where she had always felt safe. As she sat among the flowers, her tears fell silently. She began to question her worth, wondering if her life would always be marked by rejection and judgment. As she sat there, lost in her thoughts, an old woman appeared before her. Imara was startled, but the old woman's warm eyes calmed her. Dressed in simple clothes, with the wisdom that seemed to emanate from her very being. The old woman introduced herself as a messenger from the spirit of the forest. Do not cry, child, she said gently. There is more to you than meets the eyes, and those who cannot see it are the ones who are blind. Imara, curious yet cautious, listened as the old woman explained that she had come to show her the way to find someone who could see her heart. She handed Imara a worn enchanted map, its edges glowing faintly with a magical aura. The map, the woman said, will guide her to the lake of reflection, hidden deep within the enchanted forest. This lake was said to hold the power to reveal one's inner beauty and worth, but only those with pure intention could reach it. Imara felt a spark of hope reignite within her. The journey sounded dangerous, yet she was determined to prove to herself that she was more than what others saw. She knew her father would never allow her to go alone, fearing for her safety. So she shared her plan only with Kato, who, upon hearing of her quest, insisted on joining her to ensure she reached the lake safely. In the early dawn, they slipped out of the palace gates with little more than essential, beginning a journey that neither of them fully understood. As they ventured further into the forest, they noticed that the map seemed to change, revealing new paths and hidden others. It was a maze of twisting vines, towering trees, winding trails that constantly shifted. The deeper they went, the stranger the forest became. They encountered creatures that seemed half real and half illusion, taking ravens that taunted Imara about her appearance and plans that whispered her insecurities back to her, casting doubts in her heart. Each challenge forced her to confront her deepest fears, leaving her emotionally drained. But Kato's words encouraged her. Like this plant, you have a strength others cannot see, he told her, reminding her of all they had learned together. Days passed and their journey became increasingly perilous. They came upon a village hidden within the forest, inhabited by shadowy figures who were once people but had been cursed by a powerful witch. These forest dwellers, trapped in the shadowy existence, pleaded with Imara to help break their curse. Her heart ached for them, and she used her knowledge of healing herbs to create a remedy. Although she could not fully lift their cause, her efforts brought them peace, and they gifted her a truth crystal, a small stone that glowed with a warm light when held by someone pure-hearted. They told her that the crystal held the power to reveal hidden truths and could be a guide on her quest. As they continued on, Imara and Kato came across another traveler deep in the forest. His name was Dume, a rugged farmer who was on his own journey to retrieve a rare herb that could cure his ailing mother. Imara was initially wary of him, and he in turn seemed unimpressed by her royal background. But as they traveled together, Imara began to see Dume's quiet strength and integrity, while he noticed her kindness and resilience. Their journey together brought them closer, though Imara was cautious not to allow herself to hope for his affection. Late one night, the trio was visited by spirit guardians who appeared as shimmering figures in the darkness. They warned them that only those who could prove their worthiness would be able to reach the lake. The spirit explained that each of them would face a unique test, tailored to their deepest fears. Imara felt a knot of fear tighten in her stomach, but she knew there was no turning back. Imara's test came in the form of a magical mirror that appeared before her. As she looked into the mirror reflected her insecurities and fears back to her. She saw a twisted version of herself, laughing and taunting her, saying she would never be loved or accepted. It was a vision of all the awful words and judgments she had faced throughout her life. Through years, she summoned the courage to speak to her reflection, embracing her unique beauty and accepting that her worth lay beyond her face. The mirror shattered, leaving behind a sense of relief and strength she had never felt before. Just as they neared the lake, Tume mysteriously disappeared. Imara searched frantically, calling out his name, but there was no trace of him. Heartbroken and alone, she felt a pang of abandonment, wondering if Dume too had been unable to accept her. But she knew she had to continue even without him. When she finally reached the lake, she stood before it, feeling and feeling her heart ache mingling with a sense of purpose. The waters of the lake began to glow, and she saw her reflection, not as the world had seen her, but as the kind, brave, and resilient woman she truly was. Her heart swelled with self acceptance, and she realized that her journey had been about discovering her own inner beauty and worth, independent of others' opinion. Just then, Dume appeared, carrying his own truth crystal given to him by the Spirit. He told her that he had been led on his own path to prove his devotion, and he confessed that he had grown to admire her courage and art. In that moment, they understood the strength of their connection, built on mutual respect and love. Together, they returned to the kingdom, only to find it on the brink of invasion by a neighboring king who believed Amani to be weakened by a cursed princess. Imara stepped forward, offering herself as an ambassador of peace. Her compassion and wisdom moved the enemy king, who realized that true strength and beauty were found in her spirit. Imara's kingdom celebrated her return, and people who had once scorned her now see her as a symbol of strength, courage, and true beauty. She and Dume were married, and their love became a story passed down through generations to generations, a reminder that beauty is found in the heart and that true love sees beyond appearances. Hope you found this very intriguing and interesting. If you do, please do not forget to share, subscribe, and like this video. See you in my next story. Love you. Bye.